Hello and welcome to Carol's Kitchen. And this afternoon what I'm going to make are some courgette chocolate brownies. Now that may sound a little bit weird to you, but these are sugar free and they are carb free. So that's healthy. So, and it's got loads of vegetables in, more than your 5 a day really. No, I'm joking. But it's got a lot of courgette in it and dark chocolate. So I reckon that these are probably good for you. Maybe, yeah. Okay, so I've got already weighed out in my bowl 225 grams of nut butter. Now I use a smooth one. There's lots of different types you can use. Mine are always just 100% made from the nuts. So today I've used a Meridian one, which is this one, which is a new one that I found, which is says it's a richer roast and it's a peanut oil. But I've also found this one, which is a mixed nut oil. So slightly cheaper than almond nut butter and cashew nut butter. But you know, so it's mixed nuts, and so if you're okay with the mix of nuts, this is a good alternative. Anyway, so I've weighed out my nut butter into there. And then I'm going to add my 100 grams of dark chocolate. Now I've got a mix in here because that's what I've got left in the cupboard. So I've got some nibs, some dark chocolate nibs, and I've got a bit of chopped up chocolate. So the chocolate that I've used in here is actually the 85% dark chocolate. So yes, it's still got some sugars in it, but actually for a fifth of the bar it's only 3 grams, so it's only 3% sugar in it. So I think that's quite good actually. So yes, it has got a little bit of sugar in, so not entirely sugar free, but close to it. Then I'm going to add in a whole load of grated courgette. This represents 1.5 normal size courgettes. So pop those in there. And I grate these by hand because it's easy and because I have a small kitchen and I don't have room anymore for all of the electrical appliances that I previously had. So this is one of those all-in-one recipes. So I'm now going to add an egg, and as usual I have breaking the egg into a separate bowl, just to make sure, and actually I've got a little bit of shell in there, that I don't add a bad egg or any shell to the mixture. So I'm going to pop that into there. Now we've got some flavourings, so I've got some cinnamon, and I'm actually going to add a whole teaspoonful of cinnamon in here. Now, so you want a flat teaspoonful. Then you want about half a teaspoon of nutmeg. Now, not so easy with this, but I'm going to use this as a guide. I haven't filled it up completely because some of it was outside. And then, just to finish it off and to give it just a little bit of oomph, I'm going to add a teaspoon of bicarbonate of soda. Now, at this point, you need to work quickly, because once the bicarbonate, oh, hang on, I've forgotten a little bit of vanilla. Now, what I'm not doing is adding any more sugar to this or any flour. So this is quite a delicate mixture, but we now need to work quickly, because once the bicarbonate of soda hits those wet ingredients, it's going to start working and fizzing. So we don't want that to be a waste. So We want to mix this. I use a metal spoon because it's easier for this. If you're using a wooden spoon, it just gets really mucky. Make sure that you have all the ingredients incorporated. And then we're going to pop it into our prepared tin. So this is a square baking tin. I've half lined it. So I've lined it on one side. It's non-stick, so actually, you know, it doesn't matter that this side isn't lined, and this will help you to take the cooked brownies out easily for cooling. So let's put that all in here. Now I love chocolate brownies. And quite honestly, if I'm really honest here, I could eat a fair few of these at one go. So what I do is I cut them into small squares, smaller than the recipe suggests, so that I can just have a mouthful. Because it is still sweet, even though it doesn't have any sugar in it. The original recipe has rice malt syrup in it, but you know what? That's just sugars too. And I find the courgettes and the chocolate, they're sweet enough. It may be because I am sugar-free and have been for quite some time, so my taste buds have changed. However, I would say this is worth a go. This is something your children can make, and it's not going to be full of sugar. So, as some of you know, I am a health coach, and I recommend not using sugar and not eating processed carbs. So this is a lovely thing to make. And I'm going to pop these in the oven now. It's a moderate oven. I will put the actual recipe below the video. But I'm going to pop these in the oven for maybe 20 minutes, maybe 25 minutes. I'm going to see. It may take a bit longer than that. Varies a lot. Cooking's a bit like that. Cooking is about chemistry, and it's not an exact science. So I'll test it first after 20 minutes and see how we go. But this is what it looks like in the tin, and I'm going to pop it in there and straight in the oven, and we'll see what happens. And here is the finished article. Really yummy, full of chocolate. You could add, if you wanted to, you could add some cacao powder to make it even more chocolatey. And I know I found some cocoa powder, which is just dark chocolate. It's 100% cocoa with an absolute smidge of sugar in it. So it's you could add one of those if you wanted to. It does up the carbs ever so slightly, but if you want it more chocolatey, then you can do that. So I'd love to know if you are going to try this recipe. I have some other brownie recipes with other vegetables in. So keep looking back. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel. We're trying to get this up to 100 subscribers if at all possible. So I'd love it if you could subscribe, share it, and subscribe to it. And I'll see you when I'm once again in Carol's kitchen.